I'm sorry, my dear, he said to his wife. Thomas is in trouble with the police, and I must go at once.
James, why don't you think about something or someone else for a change? You'll be surprised at how much better you'll feel if you do. Oh, please. Being important is the only thing for me to think about. Huh.
You must behave here. You're on the main line now. Actually, Gordon, giggled Ben, when we saw you, we thought this was the scrapyard. You miserable engine, she scolded. Just look what you've done to our breakfast. Now I shall have to cook some more.
Pah! You're late. That smell is making me ill. It's the fish, replied Thomas, and there's danger on the rails. That's why we're late. Ha! You're the only danger on the rail.
Never mind, James, whispered Toby. They're only joking. Ha ha!
All the passengers were shouting at the ticket window. We want our money back.
Your color's nice, James. Pity about your face, though.
Oh dear, my system is out of order. No one understands my case. You don't know what I suffer, moaned Henry. Rubbish, said Thomas. You're too fat. You need exercise.
You have a leather bootlace there, said the conductor to a smartly dressed man. Please give it to me. I won't. Stop fooling, said Duck. I'm tired. So are we, hissed the engines. We are tired of you. The kipper is due, said the conductor. Who cares, said the fireman. This is good cocoa.
Beep, 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 beep. Hello, fat face.
The passengers all said what a bad railway it was. Then they told the man how bad he was instead. Rubbish, Percy, said Henry. Engines don't wear scarves. Engines with proper funnels do.
Why are you complaining all the time? Because I'm a big blue engine and I know everything. I shall complain whenever I want.
Duck was horrified. Shut up, he ordered, and bumped them hard. Oh, no, said the freight cars. We want a proper engine, not a red monster. Bah! Enjoyment is all you engines live for. Where's your cow catcher, he asked. But I don't catch cows, sir.
You're a handle, I suppose.
And you, I suppose, are George? Yes, I've heard of you.
And I've heard of you. You swank around with your steamroller wheels, pretending you're as good as me.
Actually, I'm better. I've pulled expresses for years and have never once lost my way. I seem to know the right line by instinct. Did you lose your way, Gordon? No, it was lost for me. I was switched off the main line onto the loop. I had to go all round and back again. Perhaps it was instinct.
Tunnels are not dance floors, and you are not a pop star.
I suffered dreadfully, and no one cares. Rubbish, Henry, snorted James. You don't work hard enough.
Definitely a coloratura.
Quack, 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 quack. Whee! Rubbish, said Thomas's driver. We've been along here hundreds of times and never had an accident. That makes it worse. Wakey, wakey, hovered Harold. I'm looking at the boats.
My sister has rung to tell me she can't come to stay with me. I was so looking forward to her visit.
Can you smell a smell? I can't smell a smell, said Annie. A funny, musty sort of smell, said Thomas. No one noticed it till you did. Sir Topham Hatt chose me especially. He must know I'm a really useful engine. More likely he wants you out of the way.
All right, then, Arsdale End. That's my home, replied Toby. That's why I like it, especially when you're there and not here.
Everyone pulled except Sir Topham Hatt. Because, he said, my doctor has forbidden me to pull. I can hover like a bird. Don't you wish you could hover? Certainly not.
Oh! Oh!
Duck watched with interest. Some jokes are funny, but not this one, James. Don't blame me, snorted Henry. If we hurried across the viaduct, it might collapse, and then you'd have no passengers at all. What would you do then? Run my train on time, for one thing.
Oh, it's you, said Elizabeth, looking down at Sir Topham Hatt. Have you learned to drive properly yet?
Shut up, said James. It's not funny.
Duck called me a galloping sausage,
spluttered Gordon. Rusty red scrap iron, hissed James. I'm old square wheels. Now wheesht and let an engine sleep. Quack yourself.
What a small shed, grunted Sir Handel. This won't do at all. We're much too good for this old shack.
But the diesel will magic us away like the freight cars. He won't magic us, replied their drivers. We'll more likely magic him.
I always said railways were out of date, but you're so slow with the mail. You should give everyone their stamps back.
Beg pardon, sir, gasped Duck. Excuse my intrusion. No, I won't.
You said the countryside got you all fired up, James, said Percy, but I didn't think you meant it in this way.
No passengers means no polish. And no polish means no passenger.
What are you doing here, Percy? You should be at the station by now. I know, sighed Percy. These cars have been troublesome all morning. That's no excuse.
If it isn't, Gordon, said Ben, it's just a pile of old iron, which we'd better take to the scrapyard. No, Bill, this lot's useless for scrap. We'll take it to the harbor and dump it in the sea.
Ah! Help! Called the engines from inside the shed. I can't!
Hello, Oliver. Are you being a good gracious engine? Beg pardon, but we really don't like this sort of surprise. I hope the guard leaves the light on for you tonight. Why? Asked Thomas. I quite like the dark. Your ugly fizz is enough to frighten anyone.
What's this lump of steaming scrap iron? He teased. I'll be back, replied the lorry, so you can wipe that silly smile off your smoke box.
When Boko suddenly arrived, Gordon thought him the most beautiful sight he had ever seen. Boko, my dear engine, save me. Oh, yes, I like children.
I hope he doesn't hurt his passengers. What's that about me? I'm a plain engine, and I believe in plain speaking. Speak up.
I wouldn't drink too much of that water if I were you, Gordon. It might give you boiler ache. Pah, said Gordon. What's this, educating Gordon Day?
Call yourself a car? You're a disgrace to the road. Find yourself a scrapyard.
You impertinent scallywags, Duke would say. Whatever are you engines coming to?
Really reliable. That's me, panted James. Pity the same can't be said for Percy.
The Diesel surveyed the shed.
Not bad. I've seen worse.
Want a race, Thomas? Beeped Bertie. Never mind.
Then Sir Topham Hatt gave his full attention to Duncan's funnel. If it happens again, he ended ominously, I shall find ways to cut you down to size. In other words, your career is on the line. My branch is the pride of the line, wouldn't you agree? Well, there is another engine with a famous branch line, too. Who?
Let me through, demanded Duck. You'll just have to wait, replied George. There's no time to wait. I must clear my freight cars from the main line to let Gordon through. Then he'll have to wait, too. Then the fog slowly lifted. Oh, no! We're in the scrap yards! He's just cranky on wheels, said James. He's not taking my mail, said Percy. And then came the funny part. What's the funny part about an avalanche?
If fish get into an engine's boiler, they always cause trouble. And for another, fish can be awfully smelly. And I know what I'm talking about. Good night.
They're bringing in the third lorry on a barge. What happened to that one? James asked. Stupid lorry was reversing and fell straight into the sea. I love weddings, sighed Percy that night. Did you enjoy your kiss? Oliver arrived, and when he saw Toad, he could only smile. A pond is the only place for a toad, I suppose.
Spooked, are you, Duncan? Laughed his driver. No, wailed Duncan. I'm asleep.
We should have left this part of the island alone.
It was time for Thomas to leave. He had seen everything.